Okay, hello everyone, and thank you for coming to our presentation. My name is Scott Harrison, and I'm with SAP, and I am privileged to work with partners who are building technologies in the cloud on SAP's platforms. Today, I'm going to have the unique opportunity to introduce you to a company called Enterprise Jungle, who has built some cloud-based applications on SAP, leveraging success factors and building extensions on that, and James will talk to you about that today. What I'd like to do is to start off sharing with you how partners like you can partner with SAP, whether you are a startup company, whether you are a company that is a systems integrator, whether you're an application development company or a reseller. Companies today more than ever can partner with SAP in a very easy and flexible manner. Throughout this conference today, this week, we've been talking about the cloud, right? And how do you leverage the cloud ultimately to monetize business? And that's what I'm here to share with you about today. I don't know how many of you have ever worked with SAP before. Show of hands. Okay, a few of you have, right? Well, now more than ever, it's easy to partner with SAP, and it's easy to build innovative cloud-based solutions leveraging some of our best technologies, which you're going to see from James today. We have thousands of partners in the SAP ecosystem, and we have over 250,000 clients worldwide. What if I were to show you a way that you could get access to these 250,000 clients by building applications in the cloud and deploying them in the cloud? What if you could create a new revenue stream for your business by developing a cloud strategy but not alienating your core business and where you came from today? And that's the purpose of what I'm doing at SAP and how I'm privileged to work with these partners who are building solutions, deploying them on the SAP store, and generating revenue. The SAP HANA Cloud Platform is an entire cloud platform stack, which I'll talk about more in a couple minutes. It allows you to build applications leveraging some of our best technologies, such as analytics, such as SAP's HANA, which is our in-memory real-time database and technology. It allows you as a partner to build these solutions in which you retain the IP for and you can go to market on these. It allows you to build mobile solutions in which you can deploy to any mobile device, anytime, anywhere. So by partnering with SAP, you can build a very rich application, you can build a very easy to consume mobile application, and you can put it on SAP Store so that you get a level playing field in a storefront to be able to market your company's products and services and who you are. Whether you're Accenture or whether you're a startup with 2 employees, you can monetize your solutions with SAP in our marketplace. There are a couple different ways that partners are building cloud solutions with SAP. Number one, they're building new cloud applications. How many of you have Java developers? Show a hand there, right. So now with SAP, you can build a Java-based application on the HANA Cloud Platform. You can have SAP review that application, and you can publish it and monetize it to the SAP Store. We also give you the ability to extend cloud applications. So SAP has a few cloud applications such as SuccessFactors or Cloud for Customer. And we have a roadmap of Ariba and our recent acquisition with Concur, where we have partners that are extending cloud-based applications. This is an example of where James in Enterprise Jungle is going to talk about extending the SuccessFactors solutions that they've built on. And then the third area is extending on-premise apps. So maybe you have partners that have built solutions, or you have clients that have built solutions and they want to migrate to the cloud. SAP now enables you to further monetize revenue with those clients you have by extending their on-premise business processes and building cloud-based solutions that you can market. As I mentioned earlier, it's an entire cloud platform stack. You know, we've contemplated the infrastructure services, the database, the application services, and these are SAP's own private cloud data centers in which you can build your solutions and you can deploy them. One of the greatest values of this is that you can build a solution in the cloud and you can deploy it on-premise or you can deploy it in the cloud. So we're providing partners flexibility and choice on how they develop and build. And ultimately, you're providing your customer's choice on how they want to consume, whether it's behind the firewall on their own premise or whether they want to consume a cloud application. You can embed SAP technologies into your offering as well. So you can embed the HANA Cloud Platform into your offering as a white label option so that you can sell a comprehensive service to companies. What you're going to hear from Enterprise Jungle is they extended a cloud application and they're taking this to market. They've built it in the cloud and they can deploy it in the cloud. In regards to our partner program, it's very easy to get information. You can go to the SAP Application Development Center, which is on the right of your screen. I'm happy to talk with you after. You can get all the information about our program. You can download trials. You can sign up for the program. You can get an access to the calendar events and things that we're running and sponsoring for partners. Also, if you go to the SAP Store and the HANA Marketplace, you can see all of the applications that SAP has built as partners have built on the HANA Cloud Platform. So I welcome you to go to either one of those. What I would ultimately like to do is I would like to introduce James Sinclair from Enterprise Jungle. Enterprise Jungle was the winner, as we announced yesterday, for our HANA and HANA Cloud Platform app. So out of thousands of companies who initially registered, it got whittled down to a few select companies, and then ultimately Enterprise Jungle built the best application extending success factors. And they won through crowd voting and crowdsourcing. So it wasn't SAP who selected it. It was folks like you, customers, partners, and people in the community who decided that this was a revolutionary app built on the HANA Cloud Platform. So without further ado, what I'd like to do is to introduce James Sinclair and Enterprise Jungle. Thank you. Here you go, James.
Thank you, Scott. So what I'm going to talk about today is developing an application on HANA Cloud Platform and bringing it to market, and why for net new or net extension applications you should care about access into the marketplace that SAP gives you. And so I'm just going to pull up. Bear with me 1 second. Sorry. No, apparently not. Sorry about that. So while I'm doing that, I'm going to talk about the fact that we had an application that was based on-prem. It's a knowledge and capabilities platform that essentially sits on top of multiple data sets. So you might have on-premise HCM applications, you might have learning, you might have knowledge, you might have a collaboration platform. It can also tie in with social data, and from that we get a really enhanced view of who you are as an employee. And when we have this enhanced view of who you are as an employee, still doesn't work. Never mind. When we have that enhanced view of you, sorry, bear with me, we can suddenly develop these applications to make your company and you more effective. And so what we did is we decided to join the HANA Cloud Platform for a couple of reasons. Number one is we were a startup and we didn't want to have to worry about infrastructure, we didn't want to have to worry about scalability, and we didn't want to have to worry about compliance and security. We wanted to be global day one. So how do you sell to SAP's customers and not have to be concerned about the fiber channels, the security channels, all the things that a general startup would come up with, such as references and so forth? Instead, we went through the HANA Cloud Platform and the certification, so now we could be sold essentially as part of a portfolio of products. So this is success factors, and the other benefit of HANA Cloud Platform is that you can integrate directly with cloud or on-prem applications. So even though we're built on SAP, it's totally agnostic. This view is also in SharePoint. It's also in custom wiki pages, blogs, and so forth. This one just happens to be SharePoint because it's a great example of an application. So in this one specifically, what we've done is we've connected to the on-prem LSO, we've connected to LinkedIn and SuccessFactors, which is their HR kind of from pre-hire to retire platform. And our first application is this one here, which is Enterprise Q&A. So this allows you to ask an anonymous question into the workforce, any question of any kind. So in this one, does anyone have any experience with marketing activations at the Olympic Games or have marketing contacts in Rio who speak English? I'm pretty sure your existing application doesn't let you do that. I'm pretty sure Outlook doesn't let you search that way. So by using this, we're able to use our HANA engine on the HANA Cloud Platform, understand the context of this question, and find an expert in your company that can answer it. And so as opposed to just broadcasting it company-wide, we can now find the specific person that has the expertise, the knowledge, or the capabilities to be able to answer this question. And by doing it within an anonymous setting, we're giving users their right to privacy of what they don't know, their right to privacy of what they pretend to know but don't, and their right to privacy to learn. And that's a big issue within large organizations. How do we increase the effectiveness of our employees without specifically having to interrogate them about their capabilities and their knowledge? And so within this, you can then move into, of course, the reporting, where you get to see group-wide or company-wide, what type of questions, what are the areas that we need to focus on, and so forth. And so as soon as you submit that question, it gets sent, obviously, to 3 people that we think it applies to. And the internet's a little bit slow, so I'm using different tabs. They'll respond, and then obviously you can accept or reject that answer. Obviously answers go into a global catalog, whatever global catalog you have. It might be a wiki, it might be a blog, it might be something else. But the point is that once a question's asked, that knowledge is now in the enterprise. And that question is not just who can help me, what can help me. It's also, how does this work? I don't understand performance reviews. Am I being stacked against? And the way we look for answers is not just who's the perfect expert in the organization. It's also who's on a peer level to you. So should you choose to open your kimono and identify yourself, you're not having to speak to the VP of Global HR. You're speaking to someone on your level who can actually help you through this process. So that's the who, what, where of kind of enterprise applications, and that's one of the examples of what you can do with capabilities. And there's really a lot of choices. On many phone calls we have with customers, we talk about the fact that our engine is completely built. What you're now looking at is the ability to change the view. Same data, same engine, just a different view to look at capabilities. So other examples might include team building or team enhancement. So this application here on this side is recommending people to you that would enhance and extend the capabilities of your team. So again, when you talk about increasing employee effectiveness, it's, are there people that I could hire who don't just have the 6 years of experience and the certain skills and qualifications per the qualifications catalog? It's who will join this team and make it fantastic and extend it and make it better. And as a team, we're going to operate stronger. And when you look at it like this, suddenly you're not looking at standard succession planning or just team building. You're looking at it from the sum of all parts. And that's an interesting way when you tie in LinkedIn or other social networks and be able to get their social graph. So by adding this person to our team, who else do we suddenly get access to? How does our reach extend, and what does that mean for the benefit of our team? And suddenly you can start to tie that back to performance and what happened because of this. So this is the introductions and recommendations. Different companies have different ideas of what gets recommended. It's all context specific. If I'm a new hire, the things that are going to be recommended would be people that I should know in my organization based on maybe my skill, my role, my project. If I've I think one of the parts of capabilities is we start to be able to identify trends of where people go and the knowledge they're going to want next. So when you look at people in the aggregate, it turns out we're not that unique. We all follow a relatively same path. Obviously, you have your outliers, but in general, within a corporation, you can start to map that data. So we can represent people that might be of interest to meet for the next step in your journey, whatever that next step is. So when we identify that maybe you might be thinking about leaving your organization based on just aggregate data, we can recommend people in your organization where opportunities might exist. The second part of it are these suggested searches. So again, this is all predictive. Once we have capabilities, we really are focused on how can we discover knowledge for you in advance, things that are going to make you more engaged in your workforce. And so the suggested search here is a very obvious one, but essentially it's show me people in my company that also graduated from UCLA and also work at Nike, also used to work at Nike. And so if you saw this come up on your screen that said, do you want to see the other people in your company that also used to work at the company you used to work for, or also graduated from the same place you graduated, most employees are going to click on that because they're going to be curious who in their organization is like them or has some sort of a social tie-in. People don't just network. People don't just pick up the phone and ask random people questions on the other side of the globe. You need a reason to connect to people, and usually it starts with a social reason. And so when you start with a social view, you then give the opportunity for the employee to understand how you can search. So you had the enterprise Q&A, which was this free text of who can and what can. This is more of a filters-based search. And from this, we're able to take a number of actions. So we use SAP Jam as our social glue glue. But when you're talking about collaboration, obviously each company is unique, so you might be using SharePoint, you might be using Jive, you might be using some of the other competitors. But the great thing about the HANA Cloud Platform is I didn't have to build collaborative functions. I was able to take SAP Jam functionality, just build it straight into my application, and you as a customer or you as a user have no need to know what I'm using. You don't care whether it's SAP Jam or I built it. But for me, in terms of a startup and in terms of development time, you're able to get access to the whole ecosystem of SAP products. And so if I was to go back slightly again, where the benefit of HANA Cloud Platform is, it's you get access to the on-prem, the cloud applications, you get to extend them, you get to create net new applications, and you get to do it anywhere with anything in terms of agnostic interface. And people have this hypothesis that if you're in the cloud, you're only serving cloud people. But the companies that we're dealing with at SAP are all, frankly, still on-prem or majorly on-prem, and they're only just starting this hybrid movement to the cloud. So whilst all of us are on Dropbox or Box, a lot of larger companies, the Nestle's of the world, are just starting that migration. So just because you're building a cloud application doesn't mean you're only dealing with cloud customers. You're able to deal with that on-prem, cloud, wherever the customer is, you can go. Tablet, mobile phone, fancy watch, whatever it is, and that's a real part of HCP. It's a benefit, is build once, deploy anywhere to anything. And so it's more agnostic than people realize, and the ability to deploy directly into SuccessFactors with the theming that comes through SAP Portal. So as far as a user's concerned, they're still within their SuccessFactors environment. The URL isn't, it's actually within the cloud portal. But at the end of the day, the customer or the user doesn't need to know that. And that's part of the one experience that HANA Cloud Platform can bring, is show me these applications, show me these tools, show me these net new opportunities without the user having to change the way they work. And so this is the search of who can help me. And then we have the same for external company search, where I can type in Nike. And the whole time your HANA engine, which runs this, and we choose to use HANA as our back-end database, is processing all of this in real time, all of this in context to me, and all of this in context to what is going to make me more effective, what is going to make this better, how can I find knowledge and capabilities, how can I find the people that don't trumpet that they are the knowledge leaders in their organizations. And so you suddenly see these great use cases come up, and that's what I'm going to talk about for a second while I splash this fancy page in there, is I'm going to talk about these use cases that people care about. You have a lot of people in companies that are experts and that are fantastic at what they do, but they don't happen to tell everyone about it, or engineers, for example. So some of the use cases we've seen within Enterprise Q&A is the sales force talking directly to the engineers without having to go through an intermediary and asking these very straightforward questions, and an engineer that normally isn't sitting answering these questions, normally doesn't have an interface to your sales team, is now able to reply and say, this is how you do it, this is how you fix it. And every time someone asks a question, and every time someone answers a question, our system gets more intelligent and your enterprise gets more intelligent. And so what you're trying to do is flatten the workforce and recognize that experts exist everywhere in certain domain capacities, and let those domain experts give their services, because in general they want to, make it easy for them to do it, and put it in the applications they want to. No one wants to log into another system, no one wants another username and password. People spend 80% of their day in the same application, and so it is critical, if you want adoption of your application, to be in the application they're using. I am James Sinclair, this is Enterprise Jungle. Happy to answer any questions, all the way from why we chose HCP to how they're taking us to market, and why we think you should care about the SAP platform as a great opportunity to get in front of customers. Thank you.